What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we will be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as BitTube to USD. I know we're doing it again, but there's some key things I do want to point out on the graphs before I jump on to another altcoin. Otherwise, I do have an article that I want to show you guys, but first, if you guys are not subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, as well as leave a giant thumbs up if you like this content. But I do want to review an article that basically talks about the potential of Bitcoin going higher, but not to all-time highs, but potentially up to 10K, 8,500. We'll definitely check it out. First things first, I do want to look at the coin market cap. So I do want to refresh this really quick before we get into it. So it is refreshing. I'm waiting for the current market cap to pop up, and then we will dive into this. Okay, so you can see that the market cap is currently trading at $200 billion with a 24-hour volume of 13.4 bill and a Bitcoin dominance of 55.9. So what we should take in from this is that $10 billion has been added into trading on exchanges and stuff. That doesn't mean more has entered the market. It just means more is on exchanges now. In a good thing. So we are 10 billion up from yesterday, pretty much around the same volume though, not much of a difference, but Bitcoin dominance has dropped significantly lower at 55.9. I believe we were at like 56.9, if not 57%. And as you can see, we are all in green, which I was anticipating due to the fact that we were falling so much. We did need that consolidation to happen. So just to point out really quick, you guys can see that the top 10 coins all are up except for Tether. Bitcoin actually up 2%. At $6,400, and then we see Ethereum up 12% at $205. And I said yesterday that Ethereum was looking very, 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 very nice, and that it was due to move up quite substantially due to being quite oversold. And now you can see Ethereum is up and moving, so we're definitely going to check that out. XRP up 3.9% at 0.27, and lastly, Litecoin at $53 up 4%. So to start this off, I do want to show you guys this article, and then we'll get into some technical analysis and basically look and kind of confirm what this article has to say for being true or false. So this article was brought to us by Forbes.com, so definitely a very legitimate, reputable website and source. It says Bitcoin should trend higher for the rest of the year, but don't expect it to exceed $8,500. It says the first week of September turned out to be a bad week for cryptocurrencies in general, with the report of Goldman delaying plans for its proposed cryptocurrency trading desk, hurting investor sentiments, which I believe we discussed as fake news. But it says Bitcoin is currently priced below 6,300, which is around the levels at which it traded for most of August. While Bitcoin is no stranger to extreme volatility, the latest sell-off seems to have been overdone. We believe that Goldman's decision is just a hiccup in crypto's path to mainstream adoption. Ongoing efforts by a wide range of big and small companies across industries to incorporate blockchain technology that should inevitably boost the adoption prominent to crypto and other tokens. So basically what that means is, compared to last year and the year before, we're really trying to shoot for mass adoption. So we really want everybody to be aware of cryptocurrency. And if other places start to accept crypto and they start to use or incorporate blockchain technology, that inevitably will pump the markets. Even if they make their own blockchain and their own crypto, just the fact that the word cryptocurrency is out and that they're using cryptocurrency will inevitably affect the price of Bitcoin and altcoins. So it says the graphic below captures our base case forecast for a monthly average for the price of Bitcoin this year based on our estimates of transaction volume and number of Bitcoin users, and also shows a possible price range for the cryptocurrency, taking into account the relatively bullish as well as bearish outlook for the rest of the year. So you guys can see right here, they're showing you the trade or the trend up here, also for the price and stuff right there. Oh no, pretty good though. It says, just to sum things up, I know there's a decent amount left in the article, but for the most important stuff is, like the price for anything, Bitcoin's fundamental price depends primarily on demand and supply. Demand for Bitcoin is primarily driven by two factors: the number of active users and how much they transact. On the supply side, the number of available Bitcoins is capped, and about 80% of the capped number is already mined. As such, it is sensible to focus on the demand, both in terms of users and transactions volume. This also makes sense given the fact that Bitcoin prices over the years have primarily been driven by the perception of how a particular piece of news boosts or hurts the potential number of Bitcoin users and the transaction volume in the long run, which we have noticed every time we see negative news, the amount of people using crypto drops. And you can see by the sell-off, a lot of people have given up or left cryptocurrency, which inevitably, if we do start to see the price start to move up, we should anticipate more people to get involved and FOMO back in. But otherwise, that's pretty much what the article has to say. It says, while the figure pales in comparison to the high reached last year, it is also well below the 10,000 level seen in May, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's pretty much that article, just showing you guys that they're expecting a $8,500 Bitcoin. So obviously, to show you guys what I was working on yesterday, I drew an Elliott wave. And this, for all who don't know, is a 5 signal to a triangle. Usually triangles have these 5 touches and then they break bullish or bearish. So I noticed on the daily charts that Bitcoin started to form that, and you guys can see it started right around here. And honestly, we could probably raise this ever so slightly now that I'm, paying a little more attention to it. Now, I do think it started like this, actually. It doesn't really line up that well. But you can see how we started here, went to point A, then down to point B, and then we headed to C, now to D. So pretty much what is anticipated and what we should see if this graph holds true, which I'd say I'm about 95% confident it will, is a move to E, which could either be, if it shoots straight up like this at $7,000 or a little lower at like $6,700. But I do believe that it shall touch this line one last time before making its final decision. Now, if that article holds true, we should see that break bullish and get above its high-low MMA into territories up to like here, which is quite nice, basically up to the top at point A, where it started from. So that definitely could hold very true, and we could see a move like that. And I truly am bullish in the short term for Bitcoin right now. I do plan on seeing this move, at least $500 to $600 in the short term. So I would anticipate that move. Obviously, it's going to take quite some time. Let's say I average the point to be right here. This is on the 26th, which is literally double what we're at right now. Today's the 13th, so another 13 days could bring us to point E. But about a little less than 2 weeks, we should pretty much see a touch around this E point right here. And then we'll pretty much decide whether or not we're going to break bullish from that or break bearish. And just a way to calculate the size of the breakout, what you can do is take this indicator right here. You would go to price range, draw it from here up to the mouth, which is around 43% jump. And then what you would do is take this 43% jump, and we'll do both. So let's say it breaks out of E. So we'll do here to 43 is right at around 95. Now, obviously, that's being more bullish, permeable approach. A more conservative would be around, I'd say $8,500, $8,000 is a good, reasonable approach. Now, the same thing on a bearish breakout. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't want to see that, but let's say it hits E and then falls to 43%, let's say right around there. We could see, a $4,000 Bitcoin. Very possible. I know a lot of you guys don't want to see or talk about a potential $4,000 Bitcoin, but we're really going to see what happens in about a little less than 2 weeks, like I showed you guys on the graph. But this usually does hold very true. I am anticipating a move to $6,900, $6,800, and then we'll see that high-low MMA is definitely going to put a lot of downwards pressure on Bitcoin. So it'll be very interesting to see whether or not it's going to break bullish from that or bearish in a sense. So definitely keep that in mind if you guys want to buy in right now. Personally, buying in down here would have been the best scenario, and then me selling off at around E is another good scenario to kind of lock in profits and then buy in if we break out of E, or short if we break below, I'd say this level right here, break below that. But as you guys can see, we are setting higher lows. This is a low. I'm going to draw it right now. A low is right here, another low right here, another low right here, and then we're setting lower highs right there and right there. So honestly, we are moving in a pennant flag formation, and we should see one last touch. Oops, did not mean to delete that, but oh well. We should see one last touch at around E, and then we'll see further whether or not we're going to trade up from that or if we're going to break bullish from that. So let me just delete these lines really quick. If not, I'll do it after. I'm going to just do it after. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to Litecoin. I know you guys want to look at that for right now. Litecoin does give me some concern. One thing to note is that I did draw this downtrend on Litecoin, and as you guys noticed, it is holding very, very, very true. You guys can see the downtrend right here. You can see how much resistance it's faced. Just recently did we break above that and get above, but you'll notice right now that we've had $55 as an extremely strong support level in the past. And the fact that we broke below that, it's going to definitely need quite a bit of volume to break up above 55 and start using it as support again. So it definitely has a lot of possibilities of breaking bullish again. I mean, breaking bearish again. But in the event that Bitcoin breaks E, or we move up to E, it should give enough volume into Litecoin and the rest of the market to help it move back above 55, potentially back above this high-low MMA on the 4-hour and above its downtrend. So things could potentially break out for the upside. And you know, if we see an $8,500 Bitcoin, I'm honestly looking for a $90 Litecoin in the advent that one of those two happens, because they do piggyback each other. Keep that in mind. I do want to show you guys the daily really quick, and then we'll head on to Ethereum, and then lastly Tube for a really quick summary. I'm not really seeing any higher low set. All I'm really seeing is just consolidation right here. You can see how $50 is acting as a extremely strong support. Yes, we did break bearish above, we did break below this support, but we did shoot right back up, which is very nice to see. And just to zoom in really quick, you can see how these lines are holding. And honestly, looking on the daily, it doesn't even seem like we're above it that much. You can see what I'm talking about, how this is the downtrend right here. You can see how we did break bullish from that, hit 55 as a resistance, and are now pulling back below the downtrend. So I do think we need a lot more volume injected into Litecoin to move us back up above here. You can see though, on another side, that we did break bullish from the relative strength index on the 4-hour. As you guys can see right here, this downtrend we broke out of, which is very, very, very nice to see. And that is why we saw that recent jump. Honestly, that's truly why we saw that recent jump. You can also see right here. But one thing to keep note of, and what I honestly, now I'm looking at it a little bit more, what I'm projecting is, you can see how this resistance is acting, this major one right here. I do think we're going to consolidate further. I do think we're going to trade into this pit right here, into this corner, using 50 as support. And if Bitcoin decides to start moving up, we should see a breakout right here and a run back up to the high-low MMA at around $80. So definitely keep that in mind. We could potentially see a nice break in Litecoin. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for that. But lastly, let's check out Ethereum. You know, Ethereum was up, I think, 12%, which isn't much of a move. But one thing to note is, like I said, we were very oversold in previous times for Ethereum, and we are now entering back into a more neutral territory on the RSI. You can see we bounced back up, so this is acting as a pretty big support, 166. I know that's crazy low, but you guys can also see that there is still a downtrend that it needs to break through before it can head back up to its high-low MMA. But if we see more injection into Bitcoin and Litecoin, we should see Ethereum follow with the remnants of volume that it gets, and potentially try to break through its downtrend as well. Lastly, looking at Tube, I know a lot of you guys are interested in Tube, and hopefully this helps clarify some things. You guys can see this is a triple top, theoretically. 1, 2, and now 3 touches on its support, and I do think it could potentially break bearish from that and fall. 1, 2, A, B, C, D, E. This could potentially be the Elliott wave right here. I wouldn't say so. It is definitely an ascending triangle, and I do think we could trade sideways a little bit longer using this as support. And if things break bullish, which is kind of slight that we don't, we could break up much higher, and I'd say we did it in, I think, yesterday's video. But the fact that we are about to enter overbought territory gives me a lot of concern towards the price. And also this ascending triangle gives me more concern that we're going to probably break down from it. But otherwise, that's going to sum up the episode for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, giveaway at 5,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.